Now, I hear you guys say, Julius, you're a LEGO channel. Why are you reviewing animation now? Well, I want to do a bit of everything on this channel, including giving my thoughts on various media that I watch. But in order to understand why I adore this show, let me take you all back to 2012, Littlest Pet Shop. Also, don't mind Everett, he's just walking around. Say hi, Betty. Okay, so, yeah, if you hear any little paw tappy noise in the background, that's Everett. Littlest Pet Shop, possibly the most adorable show to exist. It had everything. A brilliant cast of amazing voices, stunning visuals, especially for Flash animation, and just having a wholesome vibe. Now, what does that have to do with the new Paris Hilton TV show on YouTube? Well, I think that Paris and Pups is actually a spiritual successor to LPS 2012. Let me explain. They have a lot in common, an incredible likable tween who takes care of animals that talk, and while they bicker a bit, they still love each other as family. I guess the main attribute that makes the show so brilliant is how different the character dynamics are to modern TV, especially modern sitcoms and cartoons in general. In these cases, drama is the main selling point, characters sabotaging each other at any chance, friends turn to enemies, and no one gets to win. And there's a stereotype that girls in these shows are causing a lot more drama than the guys, due to guys being bros to each other. But Paris and Pups just forgets about drama in general, instead focusing on friendship. So, let's talk characters. First, our main character, Paris Star.
You know everyone calls me Star.
Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. I don't know if anyone else noticed this. I'm not even sure if Paris Hilton noticed this, but the title is called Paris and Pups. The title of her own show is literally calling her the wrong name. Even the singer of the show's theme song does that.
Paris and Pups.
That was the oversight of the century, I tell y'all. But anyways, let's discuss Star. Star is either young Paris Hilton or Paris's self-insert as a child character. But either way, Star is one of the best and most realistic protagonists I've ever seen. She's bubbly and playful, yet she's still human. She makes mistakes, but never maliciously. In fact, I've never seen this character do anything out of malice as of yet. It's clear Blythe Baxter was a huge inspiration for this character. She's the most adorable character ever, and if someone even lays a hostile finger on her, then it's on sight. The Sweetie Squad is cute as well. I don't have much to say about any of them due to their similar one-note personalities, but that's what makes them all charming. We got Slivington, Diamond, Baby, Muggsy, and Bijou. Diamond is your girly girl, par for the course in a show like this, but despite her mild vanity, I just can't stop rooting for this cutie. Baby is awesome. He's the level-headed lad of the group, and his main motif is chill, which is what this show epitomizes. Bijou is so cute. I just can't. She's the timid, shy one who loves toys. Also, she's probably the most relatable dog to myself. Slivington is adorable as well. There's even an episode where she has the zoomies. That is actually a very relatable thing us pet owners deal with all the time. I mean, just look at Evie. And yeah, I love her design too. And then there's my guy Muggsy. His whole motif is heroism. Also, this dog has canonically read comic books. He's incredible. Now, something that has been pushed in media lately, especially for young girls, is that characters have the tendency to make up words, but they actually execute it well, such as in Happify with Molly McGee. While Star's unique words might not stick as much as in Happify for me, she definitely has some winners, namely Glamazing and Starkle, which, okay, she cooked on those. Not sure I'll be using them frequently, but when the time comes, it'll definitely slip somewhere in a convo. Speaking of Glamazing, this animation rocks. I guess Paris is a billionaire, or at least in the higher millions, but I wasn't expecting this kind of quality. It was like if LPS 2012 was CGI, and the good kind, not whatever kind of crap this was. The design of the characters are simple yet realistic, with competent textures and adequate lip syncing. It is delicious to the eyes in its simplicity. The colors are vibrant, but not too saturated. The characters look like actual humans without going into the uncanny valley. The pups are adorably designed, and while the setting doesn't often change, it is palatable either way. Now, there's also this bellhop lad. He's arguably the closest thing this show has to a legit villain, although he functions more as a non-nihilistic servant Squidward. The furthest he ever went in the direction of evil was almost making a leash roll for the pets in the lobby, and the problem was solved via a tea party. Speaking of which, the morals of the tales are actually quite original. For example, in the episode All the Feels, it's about donating childhood things. Now, Star is the leader of the dogs and is a parent to all of them. The reason I established this is because of the subversion. Any other show for this demographic would have the children be reluctant to give away their stuff and the parental figure needing to coax the kid. But this is actually fresh as we see the generous side of pets and how they want to give their stuff to the baby animals in the shelter who need it. And this episode steps in the shoes of a figurative parent, likely even peeking into the mind of what the real-life Paris herself thinks of being a mom. Because it's Star, the parental figure who doesn't want to give them away, but the reason she doesn't is not because of selfishness. In fact, she's the one who came up with the idea for a general donation in the first place. But nostalgia builds up more and more over the course of the episode as pets bring her more of their childhood mementos. And when she's overtaken by nostalgia, she hides the toys so she doesn't have to part with these simpler times. But after the talk with the pets who are the children in this scenario, she takes photos of the items, then hangs the photos on this really cool looking frame, and they all agree to give the items to the needy pets. If I had one nitpick, it would be I would have liked the 10-second final scene of the baby animals actually enjoying the toys for closure's sake, but that's just a minor thing. Everything else is incredible. I have not even really seen nostalgia being depicted as a harmful quality, and yet, here it is. This episode right here is why I freaking love this show. Like, you go into YouTube Kids expecting, brain rot, but then see this episode, that the episodes have nuance to social constructs. Like, the basic plot of this episode we just talked about would fit perfectly in Bluey's catalog, and the best part is, Bluey already did an episode like this that fell into the exact same tropey pitfall that I mentioned in Mr. Monkey Jocks. So Paris and Pups executed a message that is more nuanced than a similar message from Bluey. It's that nuanced and smart with its story. And while All the Feels is the best episode in my opinion so far, as of 10/7/2025, the other episodes are solid with their messages as well. The first episode has Star in a slump when she gets her DJ set, which, by the way, is a very original thing. Like, most girls on these shows want to do, dance, want to do, be a cheerleader, that sort of thing. No, this girl is here to DJ it up. And I love it. I love the originality. But, anyways, she gets into a slump when she gets her DJ set, which is something we can all relate to. Sometimes we as people want to do something. We have the desire to do something that looks fun, but once we see the complexities, we often regret the decision. While I am not a DJ myself, it definitely gives the vibe of getting, say, a video game that looks like fun, that you've always wanted to play but don't know where to start, which is what I felt playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the first time. It was so overwhelming for me that I just went back to playing New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I eventually returned, and holy crap, I see what you all see in this game now. It is incredible. What were we discussing again? Oh yeah, Star. Anyways, she's in this slump of confusion and all the pups help her in their own ways, each one not providing inspiration, but as it turns out the true inspiration is one's friends. And she actually makes a bussin' song, I'ma blast that on the aux at some point. She cooked. There are also some other messages throughout the show too that have been used, but are still good lessons to have. getting to know a person of authority as a friend, how to adapt to the needs of others, some basic yoga moves, how deceiving appearances are, and how loyalty should trump over fame. Like, holy crap, Ms. Hilton, you cooked. I briefly mentioned the opening song at the beginning, but what I didn't mention is how similar in vibe it is to LPS 2012's theme song. Now, I don't have time to do a deep dive into what makes the LPS 2012 theme song so brilliantly nostalgic, along with the Pets introduction song, but the Paris and Pups theme sounds like a really, really good toy ad jingle. Back when those commercials were fun and not corporate. Within the 10 seconds this jingle has, it perfectly encapsulates what this show is about. A welcoming visit to a hotel containing the least entitled rich kid probably ever depicted on a screen. No drama, no peril, just a nice palate cleanser after the riveting creepypastas and terrifying iceberg videos I usually watch. The vocals are peppy, the music is heartwarming. Now I need an extended version of this song with further lyrics. Even a second verse would work. Even a first verse would work. This theme song right here has recaptured the impossible nostalgia of LPS 2012's theme song without overtaking it entirely. Both coexist, and I love them equally. One thing I'd point out is that the dogs can speak and understand fluent English, and I have one thing to say about that. Star has raised such talented pups. Good job, Star. In conclusion, Paris and Pups is a warm, welcoming masterpiece of a YouTube original TV show that is still very early in its series. Like, it's not even full done with its first full season yet. And I have already fallen for it. It strikes the rare balance of being squeaky clean for a child audience, yet nuanced and intelligent enough for adults to enjoy. The animation is pretty, with a relaxing color palette, and character designs that range from serviceable to peak. There's not a single jerk or brat on this show. So far, all the characters, even the bellhop, are lovable in their own right, and their character motivations make sense in the moment and in the larger picture. The messages are some of the most nuanced I've seen in children's animation, competing with Bluey itself. The theme song, despite its extremely short runtime, encapsulates everything the show is about without needing to use much description. So yeah, whether you like Paris Hilton or not, Paris and Pups is actually quite a gem in the cesspool of brain-rot YouTube Kids. It's perfect for kids, families, or even folks outside the demographic looking for a welcoming comfort show. And you know I'll be tuning into every episode that releases. That's all for now. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next vid.